Hello again, my name's Diane and I make and sell quilts on an online Etsy shop. This is one of them. You can see how lovely this one is. Antique lace design. If you're interested in seeing how I made this, please continue watching. So this quilt began in June 2022. It was beautiful weather, the garden was looking lovely, and I had an inkling to make a pretty floral quilt. So I looked in my cupboards and I had a lot of this upcycled, very soft cream fabric. They were 100% cotton curtains that I'd washed. I bought from a charity shop. There was quite a lot of that material, and I had a couple of fat quarters, well, a few fat quarters, probably 3 of each, of this cream background with a blue, looked like a dianthus or a pink flower on, and then the same sorts of green in this as that one, and this looks like a stylized dahlia, or not quite sure, but anyway, another pretty flower, reds, and I thought they would make a lovely, pretty, feminine floral quilt. So that was my starting point. And now I needed a design to use the fabric, and I came across this antique lace quilt. It was all over the internet. Jenny Doan from Missouri Star, I think, still has a pattern available to buy, but it was just everywhere, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect. And so I sketched the basic design in my little book, and then I looked a little bit closer at it. So if you break it down, it is a 6x6 square. There is a little pinwheel in the middle, and then you've got these half square triangles around the outside, and then the simple and easy and magical part about it is if you put sashing to the side like that and across the bottom and a cornerstone of another pinwheel, that creates the secondary block. So you have this block here, which is the secondary block, and then you have this block, which is the main block. And that's what I decided to do. I thought the main block would be in the larger red flower design, and the secondary blocks, these parts, would contain the blue touches. It's very subtle, and that's what I did, and I'll show you. So this is the main block. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 6 up. So it's a nice big block. So that was the main block, and this is the secondary block, still by 6, 6x6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can see how they all fit together beautifully. However, as you can see, this is a pieced flimsy and not a quilt. I put a little thin border on, and it stopped because in July, in the middle of England where I live, the temperature suddenly hit 40 degrees centigrade, and you just could not quilt. You could not put batting and a flimsy together and survive. And so this was folded up, it was put in the cupboard, and today it's found its way out. As I mentioned, the cream in here is from a pair of cotton curtains, beautiful 400 count cotton. It's really lovely. So I've pre-washed that, and then I found for the backing, keeping the floral theme, I thought, maybe controversially, I would have a dark backing and floral reds, and I think this might look beautiful This is 200 count cotton. I have pre-washed it. It is dark. It was a duvet, double duvet in the sale, a very good price. So I thought that'll be perfect for the backing. So I'm going to put these together today and I'll show you how we get on. So for the keen-eyed amongst you, you will see I'm not quilting. I'm in the garden and it is a beautiful day. And the reason I'm in the garden and not quilting is because I have run out of my temporary adhesive. There is some coming today. It will be here before 10 p.m. And so while it's a nice day, I thought I would take out the petunias from the pots, which have been magnificent, and it's a shame to do so. But I really need to get them out and get the pansies and violas in so they get a good root system, good start before the cold weather comes. So just a bit of tidying up until my parcel arrives. This poor rose here has been eaten by caterpillars, but I have a wildlife garden and I'm afraid that bush is a sacrificial one at the moment. The other two are fine, but if you want butterflies, you've got to have caterpillars, and caterpillars need to feed, and they've chosen, unfortunately, this bush, so it'll be fine. It'll be picked up next year. I'll cut it down when the weather turns and feed it, and it'll be fine for next year. Anyway, gardening, not quilting. So the spray adhesive hasn't arrived yet, but all the pansies are in. Put some new soil in the pots. So that should look pretty in the winter. And now I'm going for a bowl of soup. See you later. Finally we're off. We have cream cotton in the top. We have red thread in the bobbin. We have my ironing board to catch the weight at the end of the table. And we're ready to go. And I'm just going to quilt from corner to corner diagonally across the whole of the quilt. In each square, I'm going to put quite a lot of quilting in this quilt because of the different values of the cotton thread count, just to hold everything together, make sure. And then when I've quilted completely one way, I shall turn it around and quilt the other. See you on the other side. So it's early morning and I've quilted the central part and it looks lovely. Got that lovely quilty feel. Very pleased with it. And so now I am just tidying up the edges. So I told you I was going to sew on the diagonal, and now I'm just sewing a line in the ditch to come down here, and it just connects these ends of stitching. They've already had a reverse stitch on. They're not going to come undone, but I think it just gives it a nicer finish. So that's where I am at the moment. And so I have stitched in the ditch. Can't really see it, but I know it's there. And it does tidy it up on the other side. And now I'm just going to add another row of stitching here, size 4, just for a bit of detail. And I'm using this seam here against the presser foot as a guide. Nothing fancy, just a straight stitch. Well, almost done now. My favourite part about making quilts is the designing, the patterns, the finding the fabrics, the piecing together. But I still take care in the quilting part of it, and I prefer to use the self-binding method where you take the back and you bring it to the front. Nice little fold here, pressed, and then folded and pressed again. And what I shall do is stitch along the edge here. That will give it some strength, and then I stitch right on the edge here, because if it's going to wear and if there's a weakness with this method, it will go here. So if you put another row of stitching, it gives it the strength. makes it more robust. Got a nice little mitered corner there. All these little details that make a quilt beautiful. And it's quite sad really when you get to this part. You know, I've enjoyed making this quilt and it's time to say goodbye almost. But look, there's our next one waiting in the wings. Literally wings. Anyway, let's finish this one and I'll show you it when it's complete. And here we are, it's finished. It's so beautiful. I've really enjoyed making this quilt. It's very feminine. That's what I was after. With the floral fabrics and the cream. This is the part I'm not very good at. It's taking videos. When you have an online shop, it's the photos and the videos that sell it, but you can see just how beautiful it is. Anyway, hopefully someone somewhere will like it. The back is lovely too. Look at that. Could be reversible. And the quilting, if I can pick that up. Really lovely. Such a pretty quilt. Time for you to go out in the world, make someone else happy. I'm feeling pretty good about life in general. I've worked hard. I've produced something beautiful. Not quite as beautiful as this. Look at it, caught in the autumn sunshine. So if you've enjoyed watching, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and when I make another video, you'll be sure to catch it. Thanks for watching. Bye.